Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here, back with the next part of What If Naruto Had a Dinosaur as a Pet. And before continuing this part, if you haven't, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Please do if you like the content of this channel. And without further ado, let's continue with our story. The person's scent abruptly changed, taking on a far icier and colder note. A clone, Tarko, growled, lunging straight at the clone, tearing its head off in a spray of ice that quickly turned to water. Tarkos nodded, shaking herself clear of remaining water. Naruto finally woke up, looking around in confusion. What happened? Darko shook herself again. Nothing. If you say so, Naruto said doubtfully, yawning. You should be getting back to the house. You slept the entire night out. Tarko nodded, checking the sky. Naruto freaked out for a bit. What? Why did you let me sleep? Tarko shrugged a shoulder. You were tired. Naruto frowned at her. Please wake me up next time, okay? Tarko reluctantly nodded. Naruto hurried back to the house. Tarko followed behind him silently. She noticed Naruto looking back to make sure she was still there, which meant she was plenty sneaky to evade him and hopefully many other people. Ah, there you are, Kakashi said cheerfully, eyes smiling at them. Tarko rolled her eyes and sighed heavily. Danromi chirped cheerfully at them. Morning. Nice to see you. Tarko yawned widely, showing all of her teeth to the small dragon. I'm taking a nap. You could have woken me up, Naruto said sulkingly. Tarko yawned again, shaking her head. I said you were tired. You needed a sleep. You're the injured one, Naruto squawked. You're the one who should be sleeping. Tarko shook her head again. I'm fine. I'm mostly recovered anyway, remember? Go freaking take a nap, Tarko, Sakura ordered. Tarko wrinkled her nose at Sakura, but ultimately obeyed, trotting up and into the room the shinobi shared to take a nap. Tarko woke up a few hours later to Naruto changing her bandages. You're right. They are mostly healed up, Naruto said once he noticed she was awake. Tarko leveled him with a glare that clearly meant, well, duh. You're right. I should have listened to you, Naruto admitted, disregarding the bandages and not bothering to rewrap the already most healed wounds. Tarko smiled smugly and stood up. The week is almost up. I would suggest getting up that tree quickly. After all, you're the only one who hasn't gotten up in it yet. Naruto briefly freaked out. I can't even regulate my chakra enough. I'm sure you'll get it eventually. Tarko tapped, darting out the door to ask Kakashi to teach her to walk on water. Zabuza's associate would not be out of her reach otherwise. Ever again. I don't think I will, was Kakashi's reply. It's a Chunin level skill. Tarko glared at him, then decided to try and figure it out herself. Couldn't be that much different than tree walking, right? She ended up at the beach, where she could try and walk on water without the annoyance of not actually really being able to get out of the water because the banks were too steep, although that wasn't an issue anymore, was it? Now, she could just walk up the side. Tarko walked up a little ways into the ocean and started trying to place her foot on top of the water. Nope. Too little chakra. She added more and more until she managed to get her foot on the surface of the water. Until a small wave came up, the water under her foot shifted and her foot splashed back into the water. Dang it, Tarko chirped. Trying again, the water under her foot shifted and it fell again. The water was always moving, unlike the unmoving bark of the tree. This would probably take a while. She paused for lunch a few hours later, running into Danromi when she needed to hunt. I saw you storm off. Was there a reason? Danromi asked while Tarko tried to locate prey. Kakashi refused to teach me to water walk, Tarko replied, taking a deep breath in through her nose. I think we scared away most of the prey around here. I think that's white cockatoo fluff of his could use a trim. Danromi decided after a moment. Weren't you just at the beach? Did you smell any fish near the shore? Some, I guess. Why? Planning on trying to fish? Might as well, Danromi replied, shrugging. If I can't catch anything, we can head upwind and see if there are any prey on the top of this island. Tarko nodded, and they headed for the beach. So, what are you going to do? Danromi asked, hopping from tree branch to tree branch, gliding between them, trying to walk on water. Tarko replied, sighed. Can't seem to get it, though. Is there a specific reason? Danromi asked, tilting her head at Tarko. I don't know. And that's a big part of the problem. I can get my foot on the water, but it destabilizes and sinks soon after. Did ya know why it does that? Danromi wondered, landing on the soft sand on the beach. Tarko shrugged. The water destabilizes, so I do. Can you fluctuate your chakra to match the water movements, maybe? Danromi questioned, tilting her head. It would keep you steady and stuff. Tarko chipped, annoyed that she hadn't thought of that. Thanks, Danromi. That's probably the answer. Danromi grinned with all of her tiny, needle-sharp teeth, then flapped off to try her wings at finishing. Darko walked a few inches into the water again, summing up her chakra and setting her foot on the surface of the water. When the water moved, she tried moving her chakra with it, but failed again and again. I think you're just reacting to the water. Danromi chipped around a mouthful of small fish. What? Darko asked, not quite understanding her through the fish. Danromi flapped over to the drier sand and dropped her catch there. You're reacting to the water. You should be acting with it, she said again. What does that even mean? Tarko trilled. Danromi nudged some of the fish towards her. Eat first, then I'll explain. After I tested my theory. Tarko sighed, but couldn't really stop her. She trotted ashore quickly, scarfing down the fish Danromi had somehow managed to fit in her small mouth. It was little more than a snack, but it would do for now. Danromi walked up to a puddle, set her foot on top of it, then the other, not falling in. She hopped up and down a few times, then grinned. Tarko leveled an annoyed glare at her. Danromi ruffled her feathers proudly, flickering her tail. What is it? Tarko insisted. Well, you were reacting to the water, Danromi explained. The small delay between the water doing its thing and you reacting to it was enough to dump you in the water. Instead, you'd have to do just straight up, randomly fluctuate your chakra, and eventually you'll just sorta, get it. Tarko sighed. If you think that'll work, alright, I'll try. She trotted back into the water, set her foot on top of the water, and started fluctuating her chakra. After a few moments of the water fluctuation, her chakra synced with the chakra in the water, and it started properly moving in order to keep her on water. Good job, Danromi chirped from shore. Darko hesitantly placed her other foot on the water, and it held. She was walking on water now, and without hesitation or instructions, she was doing it greatly. Ha! Take that, Kakashi Harake! Tarko chirped in triumph, turning in a circle to make sure she was firmly on the water. Danromi grinned at her from shore. Yay! Take that, Kakashi-sensei! Take that, Captain. Tarko trilled quietly to herself. I bet Naruto would get it really quick. Danromi nodded. Maybe it'd be improve his control enough to climb that stupid tree. I'm sure other people have taken longer to learn the exercise, Tarko said, trotting back to the shore, continuing to walk on the water until she reached shore. Maybe, Danromi agreed doubtfully, but he's been working stupidly long shifts. Doesn't he know we'll probably be attacked tomorrow? No, Tarko said. Kakashi didn't tell any of the kids we'll probably be attacked. Remind me to stay behind tomorrow, just in case that Fleabag decides to send thugs after Inari and Tsunami. Will do, Danromi agreed, settling on her back, tiny claws digging into Tarko's scales a bit. But let everyone else go to the bridge. Tarko trilled, breathing in deeply to track down Naruto. This way, he's over here. Let's fetch him before he passes out here again. At last, one of us should remain here, Tarko tapped, in case Gato sends people here. Tarko said after reaching to Naruto. Would he do that? Naruto was frowning. To get extra leverage, absolutely, Danromi said, ruffling her feathers. It's what scumbags like him do. Kakashi stared down at Tarko. Why don't you stay here? You suggested it after all. Sure, Tarko replied, tilting her head challengingly. Kakashi spun on his heel, ushering his genin out of the door, Tanromi included. The small dragon looked over her shoulder and shrugged. Tarko snorted, plopping herself in the doorway to look out for anyone who might come. And almost 20 minutes later, she smelled two idiots heading towards the house, foolishly letting the wind be from their backs, bringing their scent right to Tarko. She stood up, trotting inside the nose Tazunimi into hiding. Unfortunately, the woman didn't know the Morse code. Fortunately, she had nerves of steel and some intelligence and let Tarko nose head upstairs. Is someone coming? She finally asked. Tarko nodded, pushing her just a bit further into the room with her nose, gesturing to a linen closet. Tazunimi got it and quickly hid himself. Tarko trotted back downstairs and just managed to hide herself best she could behind a counter, waiting for the thugs. They entered the house, looking around carefully. Tarko trackled them by their smells and grinned as one of them started to enter the kitchen. Once he spotted her, he made to scream. Tarko put a stop to that by tearing his face off, then tearing out his throat to make sure he was dead. She felt minor regret at spattering Tazunimi's kitchen with blood, but ignored it and shot after the other thug, which was starting to head upstairs. She landed on his back when he was about to get on the first set. A quick flicker of her head, and his head was torn clean off, spurting blood everywhere. A startled scream from above her, and she looked up, spotting Inari, who had apparently heard the commotion and come to the room to look. Oops, that would probably traumatize him. Tarko decided to deal with that later. Hopped off the body, took it by the ankle, and started dragging it outside. She could use a snack, and she didn't want to leave two bodies for Tazunimi to clean up. On top of the blood, that would be kinda rude. She dragged the other body outside as well, stripping some flesh from both of the bodies for a snack, and then ran towards the bridge. It was highly unlikely that Gato would have thought to send two waves of thugs. He wasn't actually that smart. She arrived to chaos. Mist covered the bridge, but it was clearly fast. A dome of ice covered one side of the bridge, and the battle between Kakashi and Zabuza took place. The rest of the bridge, Sakura was shakingly standing with Tazuna on the near end of the bridge, and Tarko started up to her. Sakura, take Tazuna and go into the woods. Keep him safe. Sakura nodded quickly, hurried, ushering Tazuna off the bridge and to safety. Tarko figured Kakashi was doing fine now and raced for the dome. Was that fire? What on earth was going on there? Naruto and Sasuke were back to back in the dome, Tadoromi standing on Sasuke's head, her feathers puffed up threateningly. Tarko scented the air, picking up the smell of Zabuza's apprentice, a compliance. Oh yes, they were going down. She rammed the ice dome, disappointed when it didn't even crack. She lashed out with a claw, managed to scratch the surface, but it healed almost immediately. Tarko glared at the ice, even as another hail of sandbones flew from the mirror. What use was she if she couldn't break a stupid thing made out of mirror? She reinforced her tail with chakra and tried that, not getting a crack out of it. You will not crack my mirrors. Zabuza's apprentice monotoned, staring at Tarko creepily. Or will I? Tarko shot back, lashing out with her claw again. Barely a scratch that healed up immediately. A round of sandbones later, and Sasuke was on the ground, seemingly dead. He wasn't. At least Tarko didn't think so. He didn't smell dead, but Naruto got angry anyway. Red chakra smelling of smoke and fire encircled him, clearly intimidating the shinobi who hesitated. Naruto lunged for the mirror, and Tarko backed up quickly, just barely avoiding the mirror shards that fell from Naruto's punch. The shinobi skidded away, mask cracking. Tarko watched with hard eyes. This would be Naruto's first human kill. It would be important later. She glanced over at Kakashi and Zabuza, noting the smell of ozone and the dogs grabbing onto Zabuza's limbs. A ball of lightning appeared in Kakashi's hand, and he said the technique's name was Chidori, chirping of the 1,000 birds. The name certainly suited it. Tarko thought sulkingly. It was stupidly loud and ridiculously bright. Wasn't it an assassination jutsu or something? She blinked as a body threw itself between the Chidori and Zabuza. It was the shinobi. Well, Naruto hadn't managed to kill them, it seemed. Well, the shinobi was dead now, and that was all that mattered. Slow clapping came from behind Zabuza, everybody turning to that side of the bridge as the mist disappeared. Well done, Gato said mockingly. Oh no, is he dead? Such a tragedy. Tarko growled threateningly, baring her teeth. Gato took a step half backwards, then, seeming to regain his foolhardy courage, get him. The thug started moving forwards. Hey kid, Zabuza asked Naruto, pass me a kunai. Naruto obliged and Zabuza caught it between his teeth. Useless arms swinging, he lunged into the fray, taking down many of the bandits. Wounds didn't seem to faze him in the slightest, and even if she wanted to rush to the battle, Tarko held back, knowing this was Zabuza's fight and she didn't want to intrude. Zabuza, of course, died of his wounds shortly after the thugs were finished off. Gato had rolling across the bridge. Tarko torted to that side of the bridge and started knocking the bodies into the water, even if she didn't take a few bites out of them. Naruto hurried over after a second, helping her throw them off the side. We'll bury them, Kakashi said, staring down at the bodies of Zabuza and the shinobi. Naruto nodded solemnly. We should. On the hill over there, Tarko suggested, gesturing with her nose towards a nearby hill. It overlooks the ocean. Good idea, Tarko, Kakashi agreed, picking both of the bodies up easily. Tarko, do you mind? Tarko torted over after throwing the last person into the sea. Of course not. He laid the bodies across her back and they made their way to the burial site. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this part of, guys. I'm sorry, but my throat hurts badly. I've been coughing up a lot and pausing this video a lot, actually. Yeah, so I'm going to rest, and this is it for today. This is Apollo Uchiha and I'm signing out. Peace.